Hey, I'm gonna give people a few minutes, a little second to slide back on in here. You did. They just had accidentally knocked out pulled out the plug for the Wi-Fi. Man, no harm, no foul. It happens. So yeah, I just let y'all know because we in here now. I was gonna let y'all know that when we finish. And that's why I told you, that's why we're going to go over that certain type of stuff. Because like I said, word-wise, there's not an amount. And y'all should recall that when it comes to anything, there's no set amount for anything. You know what I'm saying? Because that goes back to the equity thing. Oh, I'll probably do it next week, Lord willing. That nigga can't even read the calendar. But so what?
What's the mission? What's the goal?
There ain't no mission to go. You know what I'm saying? To be 100% honest, that's something that not for me anyway, because I done already told y'all about that. You know what I'm saying? But these are things that pertain to what's written and what those things are for. Those things, like I said, I've told y'all this before. You could look at it. There's a bill in front of the law. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is to provide for the fatherless, the widows, and the strangers. You know what I'm saying? And some of it's to provide for the, at least law-wise, when you see it for the Levites, because they didn't have an inheritance. That's something that you don't really look at it like that. We dealt with this stuff before because previous people who've been here years back done asked about it. We took time to look at it because he could tell you, I don't care to talk about no money. You know what I'm saying? Talk about it for what? You know what I'm saying? Most brews be like this here, you niggas don't give some donations. I don't care nothing about that. Like I've been told you ain't gonna see no stream, little banner running across the bottom, hit the Cash App up, or none of stuff like that. I ain't not niggas who do it. I'm not saying they wrong. I'm just saying I'm not gonna do it. You know why? Because it shouldn't have to be done. If you've been taught the word and you know the word, I shouldn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? If you have care and concern one for another, then you know what the man requires. That shouldn't have to be done. Nobody should have to tell you to do that. So if you don't do it, I ain't mad at you. And if you do it, I ain't mad at you. That's not my concern or my focus, which is why I ain't never had control of the money since we've been collecting none. Because I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's just better served that it's there. Yeah, it's all good, man. The junk just got pulled out. I'm gonna let you know, bro. I give you a heads up. Yeah, I ain't never cared. You know what I'm saying? There was a few people years back. Should we pay tithe? I'd say, shoot, should you? That was my response to you. Should you? I believe so. Then do that then. I had people say the Lord put it on my heart to do it. I can't tell you what the Lord put on your heart to do. If that's what he put in your mind to do and he ministered to your spirit to do that, then do what you were told. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you that. What I look like as if he said, man, he told me to do this. Now, something I tell you now, I'd be like, nah, man, the Lord ain't tell you to sell your house and give me $200,000. I'll tell you that right now. But it's dudes who tell people that right or wrong. I'm going to let you in the face. Now, the Lord ain't told you that.
Somebody going to say, yeah, the Lord did tell you that. He told me too.
Lord ain't tell you. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you do that. Grown men giving men they whole paycheck. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to give you your check back and tell you, don't you never, well, I told y'all that back in April. Yeah, don't you never bring your funky behind in here talking about here's your check. Because, boy, I'm going to kick you in your behind my doggone self. Then I'm going to get your wife and say, you kick this nigga in his behind because this nigga's tripping. I'm not going to let you do that. You know why? Because Yahuwah wouldn't let you do that. He wouldn't let you do that. Those are not things that he requires of you. But I mention that because you don't really pay attention to this clearly because we don't live in the agricultural space. You're not in your own land. The Levites didn't get a portion of the land. You go read your law, they didn't get a portion. All the other tribes got land except for them. You know what I'm talking about? Now, remember, if you recall, all the firstborn that came through the matrix is really supposed to be doing the job that the Levites do. But he took the Levites instead of them, and he put the burden of the tabernacle on them. So for their service, that's why they got those things. You know what I'm talking about? And it's just done a tad bit differently in the new, but it's still done. And you can see that because before there were Levites, Jacob and Abraham did it. But again, and I reiterate this, and we'll move on back to what we were talking about, yes, man, which is, and I need this to be reiterated so y'all know this, and it's really not for y'all in the room. It's for anybody who's going to come back and watch this later. You know what I'm talking about? Who's never heard this before. You do not pay tithes every week. You do not pay tithes every month. Anybody who is telling you to do that is grossly misinformed. If you wanted to give something every week, that is called a free will offering, a voluntary offering. You know what I'm talking about? That's something totally different. You are only, and I mean only, according to your law, to pay tithes 1, 2, 3 times a year. And that's everybody, Levites included. Remember, we done looked at that before. So the preachers are not exempt from that either. But these people won't tell you that. You know why they won't tell you that? Because they probably don't know that themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm be honest with you, I don't think a lot of these dudes are lying. I don't think they know. Yeah. I don't think they know the law well enough to know that you don't pay tithes every week. You don't pay 10% of your total income. You pay 10% of your increase when those feasts came. Because it say all males must appear, and they can't appear what? Empty. And he never put a set amount on what everybody had to give. It was 10% of your increase. So if your increase was $100, your tithe is $10. And if your increase was $100,000, then your tithe is $10,000. And if your increase was $5,000, then your tithe is $500, because he wants you to return to him a 10 of what he increased you in. No more, no less. And he ain't looking at nobody no different. Because see, this is nigga thought. I put in more, so I should have more say. I put in more. That's not how you don't give a damn who put in more. Because did you really put in more if you had that much excess? Because the person who had the least and put in some, he put in way more than you because he ain't had nothing to give. That's what he told you in Luke now. This woman put in her last mite. And he said he gave way more than all them because she gave all that she had. So you putting in a lot don't mean nothing because you had more to give. So it doesn't matter. That doesn't give you power and sway. That does in the world. It don't with Yahuwah though, because he don't care. Because now he want to see what type of character you got. If I increased you mightily, will you give me back what is mine? In order to be able to look out for the father, the fatherless, the widow, the strangers, and the Levites. Every time you read that law, he say, don't forsake who? The Levites, the fatherless, the widow, and the strangers. He repeatedly said that because that's what those things are for. That's what they're for. You know what I'm talking about? You Pope, come on through. We got something for you. It's all good. There's no way around. You can't say nothing about it. He said they do it every week because there's corporate and not ministry. I mean, I could believe that, but I also believe that they just don't know. You know how many people we done told, you know how many people we done told you only tithe 3 times a year and they didn't know it? You know how many people we done told that the Levites had to pay tithes too and they didn't know it? So I really believe that just most people just really just don't know. I think they seen what they seen and church structure came to Hebrew structure and just did the same thing. Do you know what I'm saying? And just try to tweak it here and there. You know what I mean? But yeah, no. You're only supposed to do that. You're only supposed to do that for Passover, Pentecost, and Tabernacles. That's it. And it would make sense when you understand that this was an agricultural people, why it was said it those 3 times a year, because that's when you would have your increase. You know what I'm saying? That's when you would have your increase. So that's why you only do it those 3 times a year. Because if Yahuwah's requiring that on a week-to-week basis, that's right. I'm in that Abraham and Jacob did. That's a burden on the people. That's a burden on the people. You can't require that from somebody every week. That's a burden on the people. That's how you know it's of man and not of God, because God wouldn't slap that type of burden on you. Well, you need to give me my 10. You need to give me my 10. That's the preacher want the 10. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, ain't that right, Sid? These niggas wicked as hell. Now, whether they wicked on purpose or wicked in ignorance, That's the thing. And y'all, sometimes y'all have to give people leeway too, because y'all be thinking that a lot of these people know what they're doing, and a lot of them don't. When I say know what they're doing, they know that they're doing is not just, but they don't know what they're doing is wrong according to the word. And when I say not just, they know they're doing it out of selfish motivation. You know what I'm talking about? But as far as what the law say, I'm just saying, man, go around and ask people, man, how many times, when you supposed to pay your tithes? I bet you get a 97 to 98% success rate that these people won't tell you only 3 times. They don't know. Y'all be surprised what people don't know. What we was asking before we got interrupted. I was just doing that at the bottom time. We good at Act 14.
Second Peter 3.
I was just talking about the congregation setup. Let me reiterate that fact. Do not ask me about us setting up congregations in other cities. We are not doing it. What I mean by that, if you know somebody and you know they're a man of good report, we can help him set up a congregation in his city and he be responsible for it. But that means he would have to actually show and prove that he's a man of good report. Because I'm not, look here, man. Setting up a wicked man over a congregation is the same as being in the mob and vouching for somebody and he come up to be a rat. Yahuwah coming to see you because you stamped him. You stamped him, so I'm coming to holler at you. Because why you stamped this man and you didn't know he was wicked or you knew he was wicked? Because that's a lot of people's problem too. You just want to set up congregations everywhere. No, we're not doing that. Because I got an answer for that. Absolutely, Tommy. Absolutely. What you say?
I said, did they make a name for it? Or just be like the Church Philadelphia?
They ain't even make no names up for it. I think we only got names here for because of the corporate structure and how that is. You pretty much have to because you got stuff on paperwork because the people want that tax exemption. That's right, Omar. But Tommy said that's the greatest misconception most believers have is not realizing the kingdom of the Most High is a completely different socio-political structure than what we have accustomed to in the West. It's drastically different. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. And if you remember, we did that a long time ago about how that this is a socialistic theocracy of what he has set up. That's how it's set up. You know what I'm saying? It's not set up like it's set up over here. And if it's done how the man say to do it, it won't be no problems. Now, you might have problems with the people, but I'm talking about if you do it how the man told you to do it, you won't have no problems because it's just, it's upright all the way around the board. So is it mandatory for the men to tithe 3 times? Yeah, according to the law, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Passover, Pentecost, and tabernacles. He said every man is supposed to come up and he can't come up empty. Because Yahuwah would take that as disrespect. You know what I'm talking about? Because he already know if you had an increase or not. Kind of like what Cain tried to pull. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a problem with that. Now, the difference with Cain is Cain didn't bring his best. He brought what he wanted to bring. But that's it. But if you sit there and you think about it, 3 times a year is not a burden. Because it's spaced out. It's first month, 3rd month, 7th month. Then after that, you ain't doing it again for 6 months. So that's not a burden. You know what I'm saying? The people put a burden on the people. Single women. I mean, as a woman, if you wanted to bring an offering, you could, but it's not mandated for a single woman to pay a tithe. That's not a mandate. It's not in there. You know what I'm talking about? You ever seen it? I ain't never seen it. Matter of fact, run it for him, Civic. Deuteronomy 16:1. That's right. He say people think they can bleed people's pockets like true capitalists and be a believer in the Most High's eyes at the same time. That's a true story. You can't. Because indeed, the system that Yahuwah has set up as far as financially, according to the law, how things are supposed to be done, was never meant to bleed the people, nor was it meant to be a capitalistic system to where you in it for profit. Which is why he said that if you were going to be a bishop, what you can't be greedy for, which is unjust gain. You know what I'm saying? What was Samuel's sons guilty of? Judging for hire and for filthy lucre. So when you dealing with the word, as forth as dealing with the word in that capacity, gaining a profit cannot be your priority. Can't be your priority because that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. You know what I'm saying? He definitely right about that. That's a terrible misdeed that is done all across the world, for that matter. Come on, man. Run the Deuteronomy 16:1. Make sure that I got what we need here.
Say, observe the month
Matter of fact, 16. I'm gonna start 16:1. I'm gonna do it like I said. I'm gonna show you. Go ahead.
Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto Yahuwah your Elohim. For in the month of Abib, Yahuwah your Elohim brought you forth out of Egypt by night.
Now read verse 9.
7 weeks shall you number unto you. Begin to number the 7 weeks from as such a time you begin to the sickle to the corn. And you shall keep the feast of weeks unto Yahuwah your Elohim with a tribute of a freewill offering of your hand, which you shall give unto Yahuwah your Elohim according as Yahuwah your Elohim.
Notice that he said you give a what?
A freewill offering.
Now tell him what that means, and we'll get back on point. Because since I was talking about it before we went back live, and y'all caught in the middle of that conversation, we'll just go ahead and rock that on out.
Tribute is masal. That's sufficiency, and a freewill offering. It's not a bar. That's voluntariness.
It's voluntary. Now drop down to verse 13.
So you shall observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that you have gathered in your corn and your wine. You shall rejoice in your feast, you and your son and your daughter, and your manservant, your maidservant, and the Levite. The
now drop down to verse 16 and look at what he say.
3 times in a year shall all your males appear before Yahuwah your Elohim in the place which he shall choose, in the Feast of Unleavened Bread, in the Feast of Weeks, and in the Feast of the Tabernacles. And they shall not appear before Yahuwah empty.
Every man,
as he is able.
As he is what?
Able.
As he's what?
Able.
Okay.
According to the blessing of Yahuwah your Elohim, which he have given you.
That's simple. That's all it is. It's just as easy as that. Now, if when it comes to the sisters, as I'm gonna just put on there, right? That's your discretion. That's not a requirement for women. You know what I'm saying? It's not a requirement. Because the reason why I put it this way, because now we have to take it into the cultural context. Then if you weren't married, you were in your father's house unless you were a widow. So the offering that your father would do if he was in your father's house would count for you. You know what I'm saying? But as a widow or as a single woman in these times, you know what I'm saying? Irregardless of how you arrive to that, doesn't matter. That's something that you would do. That would be a free will offering for you. So if you wanted to give 10% of your increase and that's what you wanted to do, that's your prerogative. You know what I'm talking about? If you don't do it, I couldn't condemn you law-wise because he did not mandate any woman to show up 3 times a year and not be empty-handed. He didn't require that from them. You know what I'm saying? Yes, ma'am. Go grab that with the lady with the mic. Let me find out what it is.
18.
Like I said, because we get ahead of ourselves, so that's the next thing we're going to.
Well, no, I don't know.
I'm on Luke 21:1.
And he looked up and saw the rich men casting their gifts into the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow casting in their 2 mites. And he said, of a truth I say unto you that this poor widow hath cast in more than they all. For all these have of their abundance cast into the offerings of Elohim, but she of her penury hath cast in all the living that she had.
Tell them what penury is. Hold on. So I've never seen where women tithe, which is why I questioned a lot while I was there. The head apostle, head of the organization knows they scam it, but the members, yeah, I mean, women are not mandated to do that. That's optional. Because you have to realize something, 99.9% of the time that woman will have a husband, so his tithe would cover her. You know what I'm saying? So that's not something that was, you have to realize something that a lot of brothers and sisters in the word don't like to deal with. Yahuwah was talking to the men. So a lot of the things that's in that law is directed to the men, which is why I don't say if a woman lay with a woman like she lay with a man, because he's talking to the men. Now there are some things that are referenced for women, you know what I'm saying? But he talking to the men, like, hey man, that's on you, cuz. This is what I'm expecting you to do. He wasn't expecting a woman to come bring him no tithe. He wasn't expecting no woman to do any of that. But see, notice that it said in that Luke, the offerings. And that's what we're going to get into. There are multiple different types of offerings. Tithes is a totally separate deal. because it's tied to the 3 feast days. That, like, you don't have to show up in Jerusalem for trumpets and atonement. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be there for them too. That man said, you gonna be here for these 3. And if you're gonna be there, he said, you better not come up empty. You bet not. And notice the key component that was in that Deuteronomy 16. He said, as you are what? Able. You notice how you see this man ain't trying to put no strain or no burden on nobody. See, it's not Yahuwah that's putting the burden and strain on people. It's man. Let me get this here. The woman with the alabaster box. I think that's Matthew 20. Say, for example, would it be wise to put away 10% of your income? I mean, if that worked easy for you, if that's easier for you to do it like that, yeah, by all means. You know what I'm saying? My key thing is, if you recall what we were talking about during unleavened bread, no one can compel you to give. The words say what it say, and then that's on you. Now, if you ask, hey, I want to be able, if that's easier for you to do, then do that. But again, it's always about what you're able to do. This man is not trying to put you in a financial strain. You know what I'm talking about? That's man who doing that, because these people are trying to make merchandise of you. You know what I'm talking about? They trying to come get that form. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. So you have to know the difference.
But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. Many shall follow their pernicious ways.
See, that what happened with Hananiah. Was he not denying the Lord that brought the teaching? And he got swift destruction on his head. Come on with it.
By reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of, and through covetousness shall they...
Through what?
Through covetousness.
Through what?
Covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time linger not, and their damnation
slumber not. They going to hell. See, because of their lust, they seeking to make you murder. They trying to profit off of you. Get this Matthew 26 for Emma, man. I'll say about verse 12. Let me get back to Isaiah 28.
For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Truly I say unto you,
back up to 9.
For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor.
Go to sale.
So there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat. But when the disciples saw, they had indignation, saying... Now
she was asking, was this alabaster box of ointment a free will offering? In this instance, this is what they used to do. Because this is why you heard Judah say this. They would take something like that and sell it, and then get the proceeds, and then use it to distribute it to those who were without. In this particular instance, Mary is taking this to anoint the Lord for his burial, to fulfill certain things that are written in Chronicles and Proverbs chapter 7. God bless Brother Smoke. You say, and church definitely know they get more offering from the women, and they expect it from the women because they know y'all gonna pay it. See, let me tell y'all something, and I'm saying that seriously. Let me tell you something most preachers know, right? And a lot of dudes ain't probably going to want to hear this here. If a woman is locked in with a ministry, she is riding all the way out. And she don't mind giving no money because she wants to support whatever this man got going on. You know what I'm talking about? Well, there are people, you read Luke 8, right? It say the women minister to the Lord of their substance, right? You think it wasn't men who did that? Like, you got a lot of women there reading them epistle letter about them co-laborers and the women who were, and they thinking that the women were preaching. No, them women were ministering to these men so they could do their job. So you need some food? I got you. You see, like with Elisha, with the Shunammite woman. Oh, that's a man of God. Let me do X, Y, Z. Dudes know this. That's why these churches filled up with single women. Because they know that woman going to give that money to further whatever it is he got going on. Man, who ain't never ordained and stamped nobody do no nonsense like that, man. You're not supposed to be taking advantage of people like that. That's insane. Because ain't no man come to anoint her, because he said this woman to have a memorial. Read it for him. You finna hear. Shoot, I ain't got to tell you. Shoot, you know how to read.
Say, but when his disciples saw, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahusha understood, he said unto them, why trouble you the woman? For she hath brought a good work upon me.
So why y'all messing with her? Leave her alone.
For you have the poor always with you, but me you have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did for my burial. Truly I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached,
there's to be a memorial of her. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember when he came in the house, he said, ain't none of y'all gave me no water for my feet. But she ain't ceased to wash my feet with her tears. You ain't give me no towel for my feet. It's just certain thing, man. If you really down with Yahuwah, man, and a woman can perceive you or Yahuwah, dudes know that woman gonna ride out for you as if you, not like how dudes be saying you want the pastor to be your husband. She gonna look at you depending on her age, like that's my brother or that's my son. So whatever he need, I'm gonna give it to him. You know what I'm talking about? Straight like that. To just be 100% honest with you. I'm gonna give it to him. I don't care. It don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes ain't gonna do that. See, a lot of dudes is go ahead and get it. It's Haggai 1 and 3. This is what a lot of men be at.
Then came the word of Yahuwah by Haggai the prophet, saying, time for you, O you, to dwell in your sealed houses, and his house waste. And this
now
house
notice
waste,
if he telling you to time for you to dwell in your sealed houses, who you think he talking to? He talking to men. He ain't talking to no woman. This ain't 2024 when this is being spoken. Well, a woman got her own house to herself. He talking to men. He said, well, my house lay in what?
waste.
He said, so your house is all nice and the house of God falling apart. So when you know your law, you know exactly who he talking to. He talking to men. And listen to what he say.
Now therefore, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, consider your ways.
Consider your what?
Your ways.
What ways is that?
You have sown much and bring in little. You eat, but you have not enough. You drink, but you are not filled with drink.
Damn it, man.
You clothe you, but there is none warm. He that earn wages into a bag with holes.
Consider your what?
Consider your ways.
He talking to the men. He said, let's notice that he didn't say, give me your money. He said, man, consider your ways. You got all this going on. While my house lay waste, you need to consider your ways. All he told him. Shalom, Brother Marcus. Let me back this up. He said, yeah, like the bros in the hood, when they want something done, they know who to go to. So they had a little regard for Yahusha, and the women who, they definitely didn't. I mean, support comes from women and support comes from godly men. It's just that most men are not as inclined if they're not really locked in with the Lord, to be 100% honest with you. You know what I'm saying? But that comes from the aspect of a woman being a helpmeet. So that's why she's a tad bit swifter to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in her nature to aid and help. So she's going to aid and help in whatever manner that she is able to do so. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it really boiled down to. And most false prophets and they know this. You know what I'm talking about? So they're going to take advantage of that. Because in your mind, it's not, oh, I'm giving him all my money. I'm helping doing this. You know what I'm saying? Which is a woman's nature. If she's a woman, because you got some women ain't no helpers. Don't want to help. They ain't finna help. All she want is some help. And I'm talking about. So, you know, that's a different deal. Come on back to Isaiah 20. Grandma, why you standing in my kitchen? Come here, Grandma. What's wrong with you?
Cold.
You cold. You got low iron? Because the AC ain't on this hot in here.
Cold.
You're cold. You need some hemoglobin?
What is that?
Some hemoglobin.
What is it?
You smart. You don't know what that is? It's in your blood. You need some? But that's why you're cold. You ain't got no hemoglobin. Oh, I can't help you with that. They ain't even on, baby. What you want your mom to do? Give you a jacket? Give you a blanket? How you cold and you don't got no idea what you want to do? So you just want to stand there and look crazy all day. That's what it is.
So how is that?
Obviously, it's summertime. Well, what would you propose for your mother to do? So you just gonna sit there and look sad? You gonna sit there and look sad? You gonna sit there and look sad? You say, oh, Oh yeah, man. But we getting ahead of ourselves because we're not ready to deal with all that right now. Let's go back to Isaiah 28. We'll be dealing with that in the very near future if the Lord allows. But why you still doing that in my kitchen? What you in there doing? What you in there doing? Bird, when his daddy said, oh, Jeremiah James Bird. You were hiding, boy. That's hard to do with a head your size.
That's crazy.
It is. But look at it.
Amazing.
You know what I'm saying? That would work if it wasn't the scientific term for a man's penis. That's not what the doctors call it. So, oh, you like head, huh? That's amazing. I didn't know that. Look like the barber didn't like yours.
Hey, man.
Ooh, Lord have mercy. That was it. Hey, Isaiah 28:6. Hey, he opened the door, man.
That was it.
No, he gave me the paper. I just wrote it.
Finishing.
You know what I'm saying? That's what a good comedic team does. He just writes the setup, and you write the closing. Go ahead, man. 28:6, Isaiah.
For a spirit of judgment to him that sit in judgment, and for strength to them that turn the battle to the gate. But they also have erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble judgment. For all tables full of vomit, filthiness, no place. Whom shall he teach knowledge?
Whom shall he what?
Teach knowledge.
And whom?
Shall he make to understand doctrine?
Them.
That are weaned from the milk
and drawn
from the breast.
Pause. Y'all remember what doctrine was here, man? Why you crying like that? Man, what you did to him? Man, you gonna stop doing God something like that. You already got my dog out here looking like a lima bean. It is. That ain't even lima bean color. That's definitely it's a nice light foam green. Well, cut it out, boy. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You fake. That boy say he want to be Jonathan Majors. Hope he don't like white women. Then she gonna have her running down the street like him. She whooping me, please. Ain't that son? Nigga run you out your limo and you go to jail. Then you come out with Megan Good. Your life over. Ain't nothing good about that. And niggas happy with him. She bad. Yeah, 15 years ago.
Bad change.
It's over.
She fell from grace.
It's over. Man, and this ain't no disrespect. Ain't when somebody gotta say you look good for your age, it's over. But the dudes is acting like he hit a home run. The pastor got her best years.
Definitely. He done used up. He done used up his sermons.
Yes, he did. That was just like when everybody was mad with the dude. How you cheat on Nia Long? She's 60.
Who are you talking about? Megan Good?
And she smoked cigarettes.
Oh yeah, I remember, dude. Yeah,
I was disappointed when I seen that. As pretty as Nia Long is, and then she pull out a Newport and smoke.
Oh, no, she smoked. That's a Megan Good. She smoked too.
Yeah, she smoked cigarettes.
I
She
seen
smoked. Oh,
damn.
Stressed out.
you see a beautiful woman like that, she like to hit hard.
Don't be stressed out.
Ain't the best stress in the world.
Ain't been stressed out.
That's probably why that man cheated on her. Kept tired of kissing her in the mouth, tasting the ass. Halle Berry's a horrible woman. You know how she a horrible. You don't be that pretty and have that many different husbands and you a good woman.
She got kids?
Yeah, several. And I'm not saying that out of no disrespect, because it would be no different if a dude had 6, 7 different wives. You not that good of a man if you have that many wives. Because it ain't all them women, it's you. I could give you one, maybe it was her. But Halle Berry on her 4th, 5th husband, baby, that's you. Yeah, that's you. It's you.
Niggas named J-Lo seem like she-
You the common denominator. Yeah, you know J-Lo got to be trash. Don't nobody want you. What you supposed to do? You never spin the block. If you leave a woman alone because you're not getting the same, that's a different one. She's been with other men after that.
He thought it was in Tampa.
It's a reason why you left her alone. I'd be sad too. He was probably sad the first time. You was enamored with her booty, but then you forgot that she ain't nothing go along with that booty. But hard times and aggravation.
Fries from this side.
Nah, you don't never. No, I'm dead serious, boy. If you left somebody alone, well, you need to leave them alone. You know what I'm talking about? Especially you don't try to come back around 10, 15. Look at Nelly. He gonna be looking crazy just like Ben Affleck in about 3-4 more years. Already looking, because he regretting his decision. You done got her pregnant, you done married her, and now you done thought to yourself, what was I thinking?
She is pregnant.
Because you have to look at that. As beautiful as Ashanti is, ain't nobody want you. You had to go back to a dude from 10, 15 years ago.
You can be back rapping in a minute. On tour.
You know what I'm saying? That's not no knock on her, but we don't know that. You have to look at that though. Because if that was somebody who wasn't famous, you would be like, that man is crazy. You know why people don't look at it as crazy? Because they done sold you that in them rom-coms. That's a beautiful love story. Man, that junk's stupid. You've been with all these dudes for 10 years and you want to come back to me and say, well, baby, I'm back. I bet you is back. You need to go back to where the hell you came from and stay there. Yeah. Oh, no, you don't come back to me when you feel like, well, ain't nobody else was going to marry me, so I'm going to come back to you. Hell no.
That's what Steve Harvey did too.
No, man. Where my self-respect at? You can't be around here looking at all these other men and come back to me and say, I think I want to be with you now. You should have thought you wanted to be with me 10 years ago. Oh, now you looking at me, he the same choice. I'm telling you, I seen the video of him just sitting there looking crazy. That ain't just for women, for men, that's for women too. You don't want no dude who been around here, man. You left that man alone for a reason. Now he been out here doing whatever it is he doing, and he want to come back and spin the block with you? Because he was hoping you would be silly enough that you'd be by yourself so he could scoop you up because you felt like, well, he always loved me and I know him. Know that nigga got skid marks in his drawers. Now look at you. You back getting them out. Ooh, Lord. You know what I'm talking about? Don't live your life like that. Don't do it. Just don't do it. It didn't work out for a reason. You know why? Because love never fails. If it failed, there wasn't no love there. What you going back for? So you don't be by yourself? Don't do yourself like that. No, so you looking at it, that ain't my story. Not me. I ain't got to spin no block. You know what happened when they say you spinning the block? You finna shoot somebody. That nigga finna kill you. That it. That's what the term is for, spinning the block. Nigga spinning the block because he hitting the corner. They finna lean out that car and let that yam go. Wop, wop, yeah, nigga. That nigga finna kill you. And they mainly talking about because you hear the wheels spinning. Yeah, you nigga just did a drive-by. And you finna sit there like this here. And you finna let him, he spin the block for me. He coming to kill you, girl. What's wrong with you? He's a thief and a robber. That's crazy. That people use that term and don't even, that's a who ride. Yeah, you want to get killed. Just so you can have a story to tell on the internet. These niggas ain't nothing. I seen some old funky dog post a doggone reel talking about before a black man, after a black man. Now she around here sitting here crying. Man, I hate you hoes who do stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? They gotta hit you hoes with a baseball bat. You know what I'm talking about? Because if a nigga posted a reel talking about after a black woman and went to crying talking about she got me, ain't no black man got you drunk. It's them no dirty dick niggas you got you around here looking like that. But I say that because some of y'all got sons, boy, and these funky dog hoes hate your son. And your son is still in the diaper. You know what I'm saying? They hate your son. And I don't like women who do stuff like that, man. That's disrespectful. Because you a idiot when it comes to picking dudes. You want to try to make that everybody. Same thing with dudes. We don't play them type of games like all women are bad. It ain't all women are bad. You like scallywags, bro. You like scallywags, man. I'm not finna paint no broad brush that all women are bad. I know all women are women. That I do know. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing. That's just life. But just to say that all women are bad, nigga, what's wrong with you? You know why dudes say all women are bad? Because you chasing women who don't want you. And when a woman knows she don't want you and you chasing her, bro, she finna dog you out, bro. She finna drag you. She finna get you for whatever she can get out of you and go her way and leave you emotionally and mentally drained, sitting there looking stupid. Mad with women all the rest of your life, looking at OnlyFans and porn, going blind every night. Slow on, brother Shaul. Stop blaming them women for your troubles and stop blaming the men for your trouble. Keep your doggone legs closed, you wouldn't have them problems. You get with a dude, you move with him in the house three months after you met him. Wonder why it went downhill. Cut the notebook off, man. Go outside, talk to your grandma. Stop watching Sleepers in Seattle, ho. I'd have put that hoe out my house. Quarterback for the Rams wife got on the podcast and said she dated the backup quarterback to get him jealous. Now, people put in the captions that she had sex with him. That's not what she said. I guess while they were talking. He was a serial dater or a casual dater, as she said. So she was entertaining another man in order to make him jealous, which is a normal thing that went. That's what I mean on that's a woman being a woman. I like this dude. Let me act like I like this dude over here because I want to make him mad so he'll come take me seriously because I really want him. What if he wouldn't have gave a damn? She said he sat down with her and told her he ain't good for you and all this other type of stuff. Man, I'm not doing all that.
We had a face to face.
No, I'm be honest with you, because I'm the type of, if you're gonna do all that, then I'm gonna look at you and be like, if I know this man is a lesser caliber and that's what you like, I'm gonna let you have that because that tells me what type of woman you is. So you go ahead over there and be with him. Because I'm not gonna play them games with you. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm too old to be playing them type of games. I'm gonna make him jealous. You're gonna be making yourself jealous because you're gonna be over here by yourself looking stupid. Yeah, I hope you didn't have sex with him because you really gonna feel stupid. But she didn't say she had sex with him. So you talking about being in college, anywhere between ages of 18 to 21 years old, that's classic adolescent behavior. But considering that you're dealing with a world champion quarterback who made hundreds of millions of dollars, that's something you should have kept to yourself. Tell me what the word for doctrine is there. Yeah, that's something. And that's good news, good tidings. So who is he going to cause to understand good news? Understand the gospel. You got to be drawn from the what? From the breast. What does that mean? You know it says something in Songs of Solomon about some breasts. You know what it say? Get Songs of Solomon 8 and 1. And let's see what it say.
Right.
I used to mess with Nell about this verse all the time.
They say, oh, that you were as my brother that sucked the breast of my mother. Mm-hmm. When I should find you without, I would kiss you. Yea, I should not be despised. I would lead you and bring you into my mother's house. Who would instruct me? I would cause you to drink of the spiced wine of the juice of my pomegranate. Mm-hmm. His left hand under my head and his right hand under should embrace me.
It's funny that people think they're talking about eating a woman's vagina. That's amazing. Go ahead.
I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, that you stir not up, nor awake love until he please. Mm-hmm. Who is this that come up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? I raised you up under the apple tree. There your mother brought you forth. There she brought you forth that bare you. Mm-hmm. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm. A love strong as death.
Love strong as what?
As death.
Leah.
Jealousy cruel as the grave. The coals thereof, coals of fire, a most vehement flame. Many waters cannot quench love, neither can the floods drown it. But man will give all the substance of his house for love. Leah. It would utterly be contemned. We have a little sister. She have no breast.
She have no what?
No breast. What shall we do for our sister?
What shall we do for our sister? She ain't got no breast.
In the day when she shall be spoken for.
What do y'all think that means? My sister ain't got no breast. What shall she do in the day that she shall be spoken for? That's the first way you mess with up. That's chapter 8. My sister don't have no breast. Well, what you get out of breast?
Nope.
Nourishment. What's she gonna do the day that she's spoken for? Go to 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. That's right, Quran. She ain't got no word.
And say, wherefore laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word.
That you might what?
Grow thereby.
But guess what? If you grow thereby, you drawn from the what? You wean from the milk and you drawn from the breast. Hebrews 5 and what? 8. Indeed, so when you see that she have no breast, what shall we do for her? Meaning at this particular point, the people were devoid of the good news, or devoid of the witness. Considering you just heard he said love was stronger than death, and that if a man for love, his whole house would be utterly condemned. So basically, you're looking at a situation of they didn't have the knowledge that would set them free. Now there has to become a point. Remember, it's the blessing of the breast. The blessings of the breast is the nourishment to cause you to grow. But there has to come a point. You can't stay on your mama titty forever. You seen some of these people got 5, 6-year-old kids still breastfeeding? I know your nipples hurt because I know that boy that is destroying you. That boy got full teeth. Because I would imagine the suction of the gums is probably pretty painful. But this boy got a mouth full of teeth. I ain't even, I'm dead serious because you know them children got gums, and depending on how aggressive they latch on and feed, I know it can be painful. Huh? Not after 3 months. I could believe that.
He's a little lube, brother. He's a little lube.
The ball maul kind of aggressive.
I was gonna say,
That boy, they'll be home.
Get it from his father.
He said, don't make him jump that nipple coming
I
up.
like these too. Father, the nipple man. Get it from his father. He's asked by the lamb. Where's the nipple man?
I ain't know that. Hey, he found some too. They actually got lamb breasts. I've never seen that in the store before. Yeah, I ain't never seen that before. That's why I said that, because I ain't never seen it in the store. He showed. He had a special. Where were you seeing that at?
That was on you put it back up.
Tommy, you ever seen lamb breast? Oh shoot, I want to try it. That sounds like that got to go on the grill though. She said, yeah, Mona said she ain't never seen it either. I like ground lamb. You like your lamb burger? You don't like a lamb burger? Yeah, you have. You done had ground lamb in there before. Yeah. A few times. Over the course of several years. That's amazing.
This is on Walmart.com.
Oh, you seen it on Walmart. I don't want that.
That's one of them.
I don't want that. I'm gonna have cancer before I even finish eating. I ain't no disrespect to nobody who go to Walmart, but I stopped buying food from Walmart, meat cuts from Walmart a long time ago.
Amazing.
Say hey, Joanne. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey, baby Joanne. Yes. She ran away. Oh, my mama set some food down. Come on, where you at with it? He fine.
Hebrews 5 and 8.
Hebrews 5 and 8.
Said, though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered, and being made perfect, he became
Children.
And being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him. Called of Elohim a high priest after the order of Melchizedek, of whom we have many things to say and hard to be uttered, seeing you are dull of hearing.
Dull of hearing.
And when for the time you ought to be teachers,
That you ought to be what?
Ought to be teachers.
You ought to do what?
You have need that one teach you again, which the first principles of the oracles of Elohim
What else?
are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. For everyone that uses
so
milk,
that means if you need milk, you don't have the gospel, because you're supposed to be off the milk and off the breast. That means you're supposed to progress back past the law. Go ahead.
for everyone that uses milk, unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. A strong meat belongs to them that are of full age, those who by reason of use have their senses exercised.
What are we meaning? We're talking about the difference between the tree of life and the tree of knowledge and good and evil. We're talking about the difference between faith and the law. That's it. That's what that's talking about, which is what Isaiah 28 is referring to. Let's come back to Isaiah 28 and 10. Jeremiah James Jones. Come here, boy. You steady moving around.
Say for precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little, for with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. To whom he said, this the rest, where you may cause the weary to rest, and this the refreshing, yet they would not hear. But the word of Yahuwah was upon unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken.
Wherefore,
hear the word of Yahuwah, you scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem.
now this is what we're here for.
Because you have said, we have made a covenant with death.
We've made a covenant with what?
With death.
With what?
With death.
And with hell.
Are we at agreement?
When the overflowing
scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us.
We have made
lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves.
Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Elohim.
Behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone.
I tried.
A precious corner to a sure foundation.
He that believes shall not
make haste.
Listen, now that's what we're here for. Genesis 2 and 17, one more time. He said they made a covenant with death, and with the grave, they are at agreement. This man come through and say, I will disannul your covenant with death. Oh, we didn't read all that, but I'll read it for you right now. Let me read verse 17, Isaiah 28. Judgment will I also lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet. And the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lives, and waters overflow in the hiding place. And your covenant with death will be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then you shall be trodden down by it. So go ahead, give me Genesis 2 and 17.
They say, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall not eat of it. For in the day that you eat thereof, you shall surely die.
You shall surely what?
Surely die.
Genesis 3 and 5.
For Elohim do know that in the day you eat thereof, when your eyes shall be opened, you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. When the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat. Gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
And they're what?
Eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
So again, at this point, they made an agreement with death, did they not? Now let's read Genesis 3 and 22. Because remember, we still got this manna.
And Yahuwah Elohim said, behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil, and now lest he put forth his hand and take also the tree of life and eat and live forever.
Now, this is what would disannul their agreement with death, would it not? Now I need you to read me Proverbs chapter 3. Give me verse 9. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 9.
It say, honor Yahuwah with your substance and with the first fruits of all your increase. So shall your barns be filled with plenty, and your presses shall burst out with new wine. My son, despise not the chastening of Yahuwah, neither be weary of his correction. For who Yahuwah love, he correct, even as a father, the son whom you delight. Happy the man that find wisdom, and the man that get understanding. For the merchandise of it better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things you can't desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and her left hand riches and honor.
What did he just say wisdom was like? What did he just say wisdom was like, sir? You missed it. Read Proverbs 3 and 12 then.
Say, for whom Yahuwah love, he correct, even as a father, the son in whom he delight. Happy is the man that find wisdom, and the man that get understanding. For the merchandise of it better than the merchandise of silver, the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all things you can desire are not to be compared unto her.
Oh, I ain't heard what I needed to hear. Oh, keep on going. That's what
length of days is in her right hand, and the left hand riches and honor. Her ways, the ways of pleasantness, all her paths are shalom. She a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her.
She's a what?
A tree of life to them that lay hold upon her. And happy that retain her.
So he said that wisdom is like a tree of life. Now we read last night, what is wisdom? What did it describe wisdom as in Proverbs chapter 4? Go ahead and read it again for them, see if they don't know. Verse 7.
Wisdom, the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all you're getting, get understanding.
With all you're getting, get understanding. That's right, Brother Nate. It's the chief thing. It's the most important thing. Well, what is wisdom? It's kokma. So what is that? That shows skill in war. That means you know what to do and when to do it. He said that's a tree of life to you. Now, I got something else that I wanted to touch on. Let me slide this in right now. Job chapter 19, verse 7. Because we're looking at it that they made an agreement with death. And he took the tree of life from them, did he not? Now, let's listen to this Job 19 and 7.
Behold, I cry out of wrong, but I am not heard.
I cry out of what?
I cry out of wrong, but I am not heard.
My Elohim, why have you forsaken me?
I cry aloud, but no judgment.
No judgment.
He has fenced up my way that I cannot pass. He has set darkness in my path. He has stripped me of my esteem.
He stripped me of my what?
Of my esteem.
He said he made a little Lord in the Malachim for the sufferings of death.
And taken the crown from my head. He have destroyed me on every side, and I am gone. My hope he have removed like a tree.
My hope he removed like a what?
Like a tree.
My God, today. He said, my hope he removed like a what?
Like a tree.
Like a what?
Like a tree.
What he did in Genesis 3 and 22. He removed his hope like a tree. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. That if they would have ate from that tree in Genesis chapter 3, sin and death would have been removed from them. It would have had no choice but to be destroyed. You cannot eat from the tree of life and still be in bondage to sin and death. Those two things don't go together with that tree. At that point, it wouldn't be the tree of life, now would it? That's why he say the Ruach of life of HaMashiach Yahusha have freed me from the law of sin and death. And again, this is not the law as forth as instructions. The law says you sin, you die. And we read it last night. The law is not for who? For a righteous man. It's not who it's for. So that means, guess what? Why did you think he said in Hebrews, if you got to be taught what the first principles of the oracles of God is? That's why I say if you ain't weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast, man, you a baby, cuz. How you gonna be able to teach anybody the good tidings to be able to disannul that covenant with death? You can't remove that from them. See, a lot of us don't like to have that conversation about that because we don't want to accept the fact that your Elohim had to make a move to disannul a covenant with death that none of your forefathers made. Just one did. Abraham didn't make an agreement with death. Now, of course, in this instance, he talking about the priests and the teachers in Isaiah 28. Because truth be told, the people who teaching us the word, they've made an agreement with death. They've made an agreement with it, and they killing us too. I'm talking about they killing us all the day. And you know what they doing? The same way he said that Yahuwah removed my hope like a tree, these people removing your hope like a tree. They taking the tree of life right from you. You know how we know this? Matthew chapter 23 and verse 10.
Neither be you called masters, for one is your master, HaMashiach.
Remember I told you that, man, all that. Look here, right? It's all good if you call somebody by their job title. But if you calling somebody by their job title and you don't never call them by their name, what's something wrong with you, cuz? That's over respect. End of the day, pastor ain't nothing but a job title. Apostle ain't nothing but a job title. Prophet ain't nothing but a job title. Man, you ain't on the clock 24/7. Nigga, stop lying. Them people don't need to be calling your name James, cuz. Your name is not pastor. Your name is James. You know what I'm talking about? I told you that video yesterday, man. Y'all look at that. That was hilarious to me. That nigga say you in somebody's pulpit misspelling Philippians. That boy talking about you got the Ruha breath of the spirit. He said that's not the Holy Ghost, that's gingivitis. Yeah, man. But that's a lot of people though. Hebrew niggas ain't no different. God, he said, man, God ain't sent you to preach. He told you to go finish school and take care of your kids. That man ain't sent you to go do that. You got dudes who preach the word. They go pick up other people's lessons and recycle them. It's not the issue that you picked up somebody's lesson. It's the fact that you don't know the word. That's why you went and did it. It's not no issue because at the end of the day, shalom, Sister Kelly. At the end of the day, it's not your word. So you ain't really taking nobody's lesson. Let's let that be known. Because you got to be a real live, pretentious douchebag full of a multitude of envy, pride, and stupidity if you think somebody's stealing your lesson when it ain't your word. It's not your word. So ain't nobody stealing your lesson. You don't own that. You don't have a monopoly on that. For you to be able to teach it, somebody had to give it to you. So if a man didn't teach it to you, God gave it to you. So you mad because somebody took what, if you say God gave it to you, you mad because somebody took what God gave to you to give it to others? What type of nigga is you? You know what I'm talking about? For real. You got to be a hell of a nigga to think like that. Okay, so he used elements of what you preach. What you care for? Christ got preached. Did a soul get saved? Or is it about you, you selfish? I hate you. That don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me. It's only bad when you do that because it shows you don't know the word. So if somebody was to ask you questions or you got cross-examined, you wouldn't be able to state why you believe what you believe, which could lead to people blaspheming. You know what I'm saying? That's my only problem with it. Don't speak it if you don't have a firm grasp on what it is that you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But if you got a firm grasp, who cares where you got it from? I don't care. These dudes really think they own the word. See, he stole my lesson. It's yours. Oh, I could have sworn that was Yahuwah's word. I didn't know that belonged to you. That's how nice. So you the savior?
Plagiarize.
You plagiarize. That junk crazy to me, bro. That junk don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. I would never look at nobody and say, oh, he got that from me. That's why he teaching that. Niggas feel like they supposed to give you, mention that, oh, I learned that from such and such. What's wrong with you, man? That's how these niggas be, though. They be like, this ain't like you wrote a song and a nigga sampled your lyrics or used your lyrics and you like, give me credit? Why you want the credit? Is it about Yahuwah or is it about you? Because if it's about Yahuwah, you'll just keep on moving. You wouldn't even say nothing. If you feel some type of way, that speaks more about you than what that person just did.
Most lessons should end up being lined up anyway.
Yeah. My thing is, who cares?
It's all the same word.
It's all the same word. And if Yahusha HaMashiach being preached, and the Father's being esteemed, and souls are being saved, and the Ruach is being received, what I care for? Because he don't. What did the Lord tell his apostles? If they ain't against us, then they what? They with us. You know what I'm talking about? So what I care for? Because I know it's some old sucker niggas be off in the cut thinking I care. Hope nigga, I don't. You're telling on yourself. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'd never look at a nigga, he stole my lesson. How somebody stealing something you put on a free app? How did he steal it? Because to steal it means you possess it. You possess the word. Making you own it is yours. Who taught you in the way? If somebody taught you in the way of wisdom, in the way of Yahuwah, it ain't yours. Let's read that for them so they can know that. Isaiah 40:12. It ain't yours.
Who have measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, and meted out Shamahim with the span, and comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales, and the hills in a balance. Who have directed the Ruach of Yahuwah?
Who directed the who?
The Ruach of Yahuwah.
And who have counseled?
Have taught him.
Who taught him?
With whom took he counsel?
With whom did he take counsel?
And instructed him and taught him in the path of judgment.
So unless you did that to Yahuwah, can't nobody steal no lesson from you. Can't nobody steal no lesson from you. That's absolutely asinine and utterly insane. It ain't possible. Come on back to this. Let's deal with this man.
Matthew 23:10.
Yeah, go ahead. My bad. Finish that on.
Say, neither be you called masters, for one is your master, HaMashiach, but he that is greatest among you shall be a servant.
Mm-hmm.
And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. He that shall humble himself shall be exalted. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you shut up the mouth of Shamahim against men. For you neither go in, neither suffer you them that are entering to go in. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore you shall receive the greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you compass sea and land to make one proselyte.
One proselyte.
And when he is made, you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves.
Making two fourfold in the what?
Child of hell than yourselves.
My God, today. That's tough right there, ain't it?
Extra tough.
Yeah, man, that's a hard saying. What you gonna do with that? You say, man, Job 21. Read Job 21 and 17.
How oft is the candle of the wicked put out, and come their destruction upon them, distribute sorrows in his anger. They are as stubble before the wind, and as chaff that the storm carry away. Elohim lay up his iniquity for his children. He reward him, and he shall know. His eyes shall see his destruction. He shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. For what pleasure he and his house after him, when the number of his months is cut off in the midst. Shall teach Elohim knowledge?
Shall the hypocrite teach Elohim knowledge?
Seeing he judges those that are high.
Ooh, that's good. I mean, it ain't yours. Now he talking about somebody who think they evil as hell and think they righteous at the same time and think you gonna teach God something. That's how a lot of these people move with the word, like they teaching Yahuwah something. How you gonna teach Yahuwah about Yahuwah? Make sense. Makes sense when you're sinful and unbelieving. But let's come on to this Psalm 78, I believe. Let's get some manna. You like some manna, don't you, Sippy? You like wafers. You like Nilla wafers. Nilla wafers with the
Go to back in the day.
Go to.
They used to be extra cheese. Get them for $1.
It's a granny special.
You can pick it up at verse 18. I know we read it last night. It's gonna rain down.
It's saying they tempted Elohim in their heart by asking meat for their lust. Yea, when they spake against Elohim, they said, can Elohim furnish a table in the wilderness? Behold, he smote the rock, that waters gushed out, and the streams overflowed. Can he give bread also? Can he provide flesh for his people? Therefore Yahuwah heard and was wroth. So a fire was kindled against Jacob, and anger also came up against Yasharal, because they believed not in Elohim and trusted not in his salvation. Though he had commanded the clouds from above and opened the doors of Shamahim, and had rained down manna upon them to eat. And
it rained down what?
Manna upon them to eat. And he had given them of the corn of Shamahim.
Oh, shoot. Praise Yahuwah.
Man did eat Malachim's food. He sent them meat to the full. He caused an east wind to blow in Shamahim, and by his power he brought in the south wind. He rained flesh also upon them as dust, and feathered fowls like as the sand of the sea. And he let it fall in the midst of their camp, round about their habitations. So they did eat and were well filled, for he gave them their own desire.
They gave them their own what?
Their own desire. They were not estranged from their lust.
They weren't estranged from their what?
From their lust. But while their meat yet in their mouths, the wrath of Elohim came upon them, and slew the fattest of them, and smote down the chosen of Yasharal.
I mean, he's killed the best.
For all this, they sinned still.
Listen, you don't understand that Adam wasn't estranged from his lust when they ate from that tree. And it killed him. It's amazing. Oh, Quran, let me tell you something. Quran put on somebody. He said, I steal all your material. Let me tell you something. You can't steal my material. You know how? You know why? Because, see, we get a brick of cocaine, right? And we cook the cocaine up. Then we cut the cocaine and push it out. You know what I'm saying? You get a pack, you get a pack. What you do with your pack in between you and your block? I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you came here for. You came here to cop. Now, whether you came to cop for yourself or you came to cop you some wholesale to put it on your block, I ain't got nothing to do with that. It all depends on what you ask for. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it all depends on what you ask for. I ain't got nothing to do with what you do with the work once you leave the spot. Because I ain't never heard nobody who sold anything and said, don't sell my stuff like this. Except when you see stuff that say not for individual sale. It never stops nobody. You ever seen some bag of chips that said not for individual sale? When you were going to the candy lady, she was selling them to you. She wasn't supposed to sell that. I bet you Doritos didn't care. Or Frito-Lay, whoever owned them niggas. I bet they didn't care. I don't care either. You know what I'm saying? I don't care either. Because you came here to cop some work. Now, whether you keep the work for yourself or you want to, hey, man, shoot, I got 2 for $5. You know what I'm saying? You from New York, you know, red tops, blue tops, purple tops. Got purple tops over here. Michael used to be out there copping them purple tops. Say what? Oh, I'm finna say, you better not be buying no purple tops. I mean, you're using the wrong stuff. Oh, yeah, I forgot you younger. They probably didn't do that in your day. But when they sold crack, they put them in vials and they put certain tops on them so you can know the difference between certain things. So you had yellow tops, red tops, purple tops. That's why Raekwon's Cuban Links was a purple tape. No, you didn't know that, did you? Did you even see the man's purple tape? My God, today. You ain't from New York City. Oh, yeah, you probably weren't even alive. I'm sorry. Cuban Links came out in 1995. I'm sorry, you probably weren't even alive. You weren't alive, baby. Not alive enough to know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? You were born in the summer? Huh? Yeah, you missed all that, man. You missed all that. Only Built for Cuban Links came out in 1995. When it came out, it was a tape, and the tape was purple. That's why they call it the purple tape. You ever heard of that? You ain't no New York nigga, man. Get out now. You don't know. You around here. Only thing you know about is them young niggas, huh? You want an ASAP Rocky. I can't blame it because it's not like New York hip hop kept on pushing. That joint's trash. They wanted to sound like Chicago in the South, and it didn't work. Hot garbage. You know what I'm saying? But no, all those sides. That's why the tape was purple. Because when they sold crack vials in the 80s and 90s, that's what they did. New York might have been the only city in America that did that. Amuna said she had the chain with the racing jacket. You know, that's way before Michael's time. You had it. You ain't walk around with no 8-ball jacket on. Nigga would have killed you. I ain't saying that to be funny because y'all niggas was robbing for them jackets. Just stay clear. That nigga criminal. I think so. Old school leather jacket. Had an 8-ball on the back. Yeah, Pele jacket before Pele, even though Pele was out at the same time. One of the greatest albums ever made, in my opinion. Yeah, only built for Cuban links. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I had the purple tape. I got the CD later on down the line. Dude ran up on me at Wawa the other day, gonna hand me to my. You want to support my music, nigga? It's 2024. You gave me a CD.
Yeah, man. He see you in the van, man.
This nigga gave me a CD. I said, nigga, I don't have a CD player. I've been walking around with a CD player in 20 years. That boy had it. Well, I'll tell you that. I think I had a CD player when I first got out of prison. Yeah, like nigga, we got iPhones, brother. I wouldn't want to carry a CD in these days and times. That boy said Averex. Averex jacket expensive as all outdoors now. They was expensive then, but not like they is now. You're gonna pay about $800 to $1,000 for an Averex now. You used to back in the day, you could get it for about maybe $3 to $5. You know, they were pricey. It's a leather jacket, bomber jacket. They fire now. But I'm gonna tell you something. It ain't worth it for us to buy them jackets because you ain't gonna wear them. Not to spend that kind of money. Yeah, you just be having it in the closet. Just to be able to say I could pull my leather out for one day. Boy, $1,000 ain't worth one day. Boy, if I spend $1,000 on a jacket, boy, I wear that one every day. It got to be cold enough for me to wear that one every day. 50. Yeah, man, it got to be cold, bro.
This the 8-ball jacket?
Yes, sir. That's it. What they want for?
1,000. This one said 1,033. I said
that's a classic one. Now.
Only built for Cuban links. What it mean again? What that mean? Only built.
Change.
Oh, that's all he was saying.
They strong, they tight.
Yeah, the links, man, real Cuban link. That fugazi. You hold the Cuban link up and you see it twist.
I mean, if you're in an environment where it's cold like that, and you want to be stylish with your jacket, and you got that kind of money, then it's good. But in the environment that we in, it's not cold enough for us to twist. Mika say, I'm a 94 baby. I'm pretty lost here. Yeah, baby. Yeah, you ain't know nothing about no ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Butter pecan and chocolate deluxe. You don't know about that, baby. It's okay, you know. You don't need to know nothing about that because that wasn't your time. That was my time. You know what I'm saying? I was a teenager. Yes, sir. Come on, Sid. What we have here?
Psalm 78.
We good in Psalm 78. So remember, right? We were reading in John 6. He said, "Your fathers ate manna in the wilderness and are dead." He said, "But if you eat this bread of life, you'll do what? You'll live forever." So the manna is also showing a distinct difference between the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But we're gonna crank it up a notch, and I'm gonna see if you're gonna pick up what I'm putting down. And I ain't finna give you nothing extra. I want you to read me, Yahusha, son of Nun, chapter 5 and verse 1, and talk to me now. Why, who? Oh, no, my mama watched that junk repeatedly. I conveniently left the room every time. Because I didn't watch cooking shows. She watched the Food Network religiously. I did was saying that the other day because she was in there watching Criminal Minds. I left the room. I bet y'all old niggas. You know what I'm talking about? My mama watched Criminal Minds so much. She been here watching Blue Bloods. We did a Google search on Blue Bloods. They say the average viewer of Blue Bloods is 64 years old. Man, I could run down a multitude of shows. My mama sat and watched. Nigga, Boot change TV shows every 3 days. Get this nigga a job. I don't know. You got to ask her that. I don't know what the nigga be watching. One day that nigga was watching Handmaid's Tales. Next thing you know, she watching niggas steal. This nigga's job. What? I don't like nothing. You know the only series I've been watching? The Lesbian Homie. That's it.
Up a big job.
The Lesbian Homie 3. Yeah, the Lesbian Homie 3. Well, it's on the third part. You could have bought the whole thing. Like I know he said episode 7 you could buy it because he got sex scenes in it, so he can't put that on YouTube. So no, he's still in LA. He from LA. He ain't leaving LA.
The dude that was tapping, I ain't the dude that was tapping dudes in the skit.
No. That bit he was in. He came back home. I talked to bro yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, he back in Memphis. You talking about big time? He back in
yeah.
Memphis. Yeah, he had went to Atlanta and did some skits with them boys, but he went back to Memphis. You know what I'm saying? He doing good too. Come on. He said, now you met her in CSI. She used to watch CSI too. I get up and leave the room. Come on.
It's saying it came to pass when all the kings of the Amorites, which were on the side of Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that Yahuwah had dried up the waters of Jordan from them before the children of Yasharal, until we were passed over, that their heart melted. Neither was there spirit in them anymore because of the children of Yasharal. At that time, Yahuwah said unto Joshua, make you sharp knives.
Make you sharp what?
Knives.
And do what?
Circumcise again the children of Yasharal the second time.
Listen.
Joshua made them sharp knives and circumcised
Children, be quiet.
At the hill of the foreskins. And this is the cause of why Joshua did circumcise all the people that came out of Egypt, males, all the men of war, died in the wilderness by the way after they came out of Egypt. Now all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people born in the wilderness by the way as they came from out of Egypt, they had not circumcised.
Not circumcised.
For the children of Yasharal walked 40 years in the wilderness, so all the people, men of war, which came out of Egypt were consumed, because they obeyed not the voice of Yahuwah. And to whom Yahuwah sware that he would not show them the land, which Yahuwah sware unto their fathers that he would give us, a land that flowed with milk and honey, their children, he raised up in their stead. Them Joshua circumcised, for they were uncircumcised, because they had not circumcised them by the way.
They weren't circumcised by the way.
And it came to pass when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their places till they were whole. And Yahuwah said unto Joshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day. And the children of Yasharal camped in Gilgal and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at even in the plains of Jericho.
What else?
And they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes, and parched in the selfsame day. And the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the old corn of the land, neither had the children of Yasharal manna anymore.
Why is that important? He said they ate manna on the first day afterwards, and after going into the land, they didn't eat manna anymore.
Covenant of death was disannulled?
Maybe not.
I'm
gonna tell you one thing, right? That's why if anybody come tell you you gotta prep and do this, that, there, and the third, man, all those instructions pertain to the manna, and you don't get manna anymore. So the things that are in Exodus 16 don't no longer apply because who's getting manna? Yeah, he would tell me the other day, you know what I'm saying? Certain congregation came, did people talking about came to Monica, you going to hell. You cooking on the Sabbath, but you finna go cook for Pentecost. Oh, that's different. That's a higher Sabbath. I didn't know it was a tier. Read Leviticus 23:1 so people understand. No, that's just for Passover, and you ain't got to do that either. Because if you're gonna do the Passover lamb, you have to do it all the way like he said to do it. You got to pull that lamb out on the 10th day. You got to raise that lamb so you know that he's a lamb without spot, wrinkle, and blemish. You have to roast him whole. You know what I'm talking about? And you got to eat of that lamb. And if anything left over in the morning, you got to throw it away.
And he got to be a male.
And he got to be male, firstborn.
No blemish.
You got dudes talking about they eating the Passover lamb. You went to Publix and bought it. You don't know what type of lamb that is. Now I know some brothers they do slay their own lamb. But read Leviticus 23:1.
It's saying Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Yasharal and say unto them, the feast of Yahuwah.
The what?
The feast of Yahuwah.
Tell them what a feast is. Tell them what a Moedim is if they didn't know.
That's an appointed place, an appointed time, a meeting.
So these are the meetings of Yahuwah. Listen to what he say.
Which you shall proclaim, Kadash convocations, these my feasts.
So listen, all of these things that he mentioning are appointed meetings and they're set apart gatherings. And what's the first one he about to say?
6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day, the Shabbat of rest, Kadash convocation, you shall do no work therein.
So if the Sabbath is a bohadim, aka a feast, then guess what you could do on it? Cook yourself something to eat. You got people around here making it a burden. Man, that's supposed to be a joyous occasion on the Sabbath. Not you sitting at the house eating Captain Crunch and eating cold cuts. Nigga crazy as all outdoors, man. You want a feast for Passover, Pentecost, and Tabernacles, but not acknowledge that this man gave you a weekly feast, a weekly celebration. Weekly. Not you got to wait for the 14th day of the first month. Not that you got to wait for the third month. Not that you got to wait for the 1st, the 10th, and the 15th day of the 7th month. But I'm going to give you a celebration of the 7th day of every week for all 12 months. And you around here talking about you can't cook you nothing. And you listening to these people, and you don't see that nowhere in the book where them people ain't cooked themselves nothing to eat for no Sabbath, man. And then you want to run to Exodus 16. You got to prepare twice on the 6th day for the 7th. That was for manna, fool. That was for manna. If he was raining manna outside, I could go for that. But I ain't never went out the door and seen angels' food. You ever seen it? I ain't never seen it. I don't even know what it looked like. If it was a manna on the ground right now, if the spirit didn't tell you what it was, you walk right past it. Unless it came to mind what the text say, looked like a wafer, gray like bdellium. That's a manna. But 9 times out of 10, your mind is going to go to that. You're going to walk right past it. Now, why is it important that Civic goes along them lines? He said, ain't no manna in the land. He said, your fathers ate the manna that came down from heaven, and they what? Died. Why is that important? Genesis chapter 2. What 2 trees was in Genesis chapter 2? The tree of knowledge of what? And the tree of what? Now, when we went back and read Ezekiel 47, when you went back and read Revelation 22, what tree did you see wasn't there? Because now here come the manna that come down from heaven, that if a man eat, he live forever. Because Yahusha is representative of the tree of life when he called himself that manna, versus the manna that your fathers got in the wilderness, which was the law, which didn't give them life even though they ate from it, even though it was food from heaven. Because manna is literally food from heaven. The law literally comes from heaven. We've already read that the law is just, kadash, and good. And what was appointed to be life unto you became death, because once you broke it, you under that penalty, and there's nothing you can do by keeping it that can remove the penalty. That's it. It's really that simple. Once the penalty of death is on your head, you can keep all the commandments for the rest of your days, but you still gonna go in the grave. You still gonna go in the grave. That was Paul's point.
He said, break one, you're guilty of all of them.
No, it's not even the guilty of all of them. You could break one, repent, never break them again. But once you broke them, death on your head. But let's take it a step further. Because Adam broke them, he passed that to you. So there's no level of law you can keep that's going to stop you from going to the grave. That's the point what this man was talking about when he said getting entangled again with bondage, because that did not set you free. It's the Ruach of life through faith that sets you free. Because even if you die, you still alive. That's why he said, I'm the resurrection and the life. Whosoever live and believe in me shall never taste death. Because you would have the Ruach dwelling in you. You would have access to the tree of life, that where you can live forever while you're still in this natural body. So even though you perish, you still alive, because you won't taste the second death. See, that's what I meant earlier when, and Talmud put the Romans 8 and 7 because we read it earlier. That's where confusion come in at. Because people think the law can give you life. It can't. It can't. Because they're not understanding. It's not the fact that you saying not to keep it. That's retarded. The point is, no matter how many laws you keep, we still taking a trip to the cemetery. You know what I'm talking about? We still taking that trip. You could have not ate pork for 40 years. You could have kept the Sabbath for 40 years. You could have never killed, murdered, extorted, or nothing. And guess what's going to happen? We still going to that cemetery. Still going to that cemetery. Because the law cannot give you life. And you know why the law can't give you life? Because he never promised you that. The promises of God give life. He didn't promise Adam a law. He didn't promise Abraham a law. He didn't promise Isaac one. And he didn't promise Jacob one. But guess what all three of them had? They all had the law. We know that. We know Abraham had it. We know Isaac had it. We know Jacob had it. We know Joseph had it. We know these men had it. And they kept it. But did it stop them from going in the grave? It didn't. It didn't. And as we talked about last week or the week before, the blessing above my progenitors, did he give our progenitors access to the tree of life? No. But when Yahusha rose from the dead, he gave you access to it. So that the blessings exceed the blessings of his progenitors, because he did not promise Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the ability to be free from sin and death. He didn't promise them that.
You could look at that as they was eating that old manna as well.
They was eating the old manna. That's exactly what they were doing. They was eating the bread that could sustain your natural life, but not give you eternal life. You know what I'm talking about? And that's it. A lot of times, man, people get so caught up in fighting these people doctrines and their organizations, and you miss the point that they're trying to express. Because people do now what they said they were doing to Paul then. He telling people not to keep the law. He never said that. He never said that. He wasn't even insinuating that. The biggest problem that I've seen, man, in the 15 years that I've been doing this here, man, is that people have a problem when you esteem faith in Yahuwah above the law. When you actually putting Yahuwah above the law. Because the law is not merciful or gracious. It's not abundant in goodness and truth. It's not long-suffering, nor does it forgive sin, iniquity, or transgression. It's not imbued with loving kindness, and it don't give life. All those things come from Yahuwah. They all come from Yahuwah. But when people hear that, they lose their mind. They lose their mind. He telling people not to keep the commandments. What? Who said that? Nobody said that. That's what you want to do. All we looking at is the contrast. If they would have ate from that tree of life, that man said they would have lived forever. There's no denying that. That's what it says. So what does that tell us? Again, you have to ask yourself this question. If they eat from this tree, what happened to the sin and death that he said would come on them when he just cursed them in Genesis 3:19, 3:18, 3:17, 3:16, 3:15, 3:14? He cursed Satan, he cursed Eve, he cursed Adam. So that means if any one of them would have ate from that tree, guess what would have happened? Those curses would have been reversed. That's why Revelation 22 say with that tree, then there'll be no more curse. How can you eat the tree of life and then be cursed afterwards? Blessing and cursing can't exist in the same space. You're either blessed or you're cursed, right or wrong. You say same when we discuss. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know why people say that to Quran, man? Because everybody else ain't saying it. So they thinking you. There's plenty of people like, oh, you sound like a Christian. All right, whatever, nigga. I ain't never been in no Christian church, so I don't know what to tell you. Now, that's what a lot of people say. You get your doctrine from Christianity. Well, I ain't never been in one, so what's your next excuse? I don't know no Christian doctrine. Nigga, I wasn't sitting in nobody's church, and I wasn't watching them on TV. I was selling crack. You know what I'm talking about? Straight like that. And unlike most people who was doing drugs activities, I wasn't acting like I was godly on Sundays to make myself feel better about the crimes I was committing Monday through Saturday. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't do all that. That was y'all captain flogging niggas, man. And you came in the word with that same captain. We 100 over here, man. What you see is what you get. What I say I do, that's what I do. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't say it. Ain't that what it said? Yeah. That's what the Lord told us. If it wasn't so, I wouldn't have said it. But I didn't want you to see the difference between the two. We've exhausted our time. Of course, clearly, Mashiach is the one who disannulled that covenant with death, because the law is the covenant with death. That's what Adam made. Even though with the teachers of the law, it's not that the law's bad, it's that the law can't disannul what the law must enforce, if you understand what I'm saying. If you commit adultery, the law say you gotta what, Civic?
Oh, you gotta die.
If you commit idolatry, Stanley, the law say you gotta what? So how is the law gonna disannul and free you from that condemnation? It can't. It was never intended to. But we'll stop right there, man. Hallelujah for Yahusha in the word. Hey. I don't know what y'all got going on in here, but you about to go to the upper room. Like I said, man, I'm gonna get all this stuff ironed out, man. So y'all willing, we could get that taken care of and done next week. But more than likely, we'll start that process, y'all willing, on Wednesday. And we just run it down. You know what I'm saying? I will mention this here, man. My homeboy, them having that thing on the land they got in July, camping out. You know, it's a set fee for certain things to camp out there. If that's something you want to do, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't camping out outside the middle of July. No. You know, fall maybe. You know what I'm talking about? Middle of July. Nigga, I already don't want to camp anyway. Definitely don't want to do it in the heat. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, sir. So, peace, Brother Joseph, man. But say they sound like they start boxing. Nah, man, but I gotta if I could y'all with it, man, next time we get on, man. Peace, Brother Nate. I can put the link to what they got. Peace, Brother Omar, the link to what they got going on. That or I can put it in the community tab on the channel. And if y'all interested in that, you know what I'm talking about, you can look into that. You know what I mean? Ah, shoot. Thank you, Wood, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they're trying to raise some stuff to develop the land. You know, they're going to have, hold on, I think I got I'll tell you what they got going on. Okay, here you go. It's Unlimited Potential Farms Jamboree Jubilee. You laughed at that? You laughed at their names?
No.
Rude, nigga. But this is what they're going to do. I'm just messing with you. It's going to be 3 days and 2 nights of camping. Building, family fun, vendors, food, drinks, outdoor activities on 110 acres of land. All the proceeds go to the farm's progress. It's an hour drive from Myrtle Beach Airport. You can bring yourself or travel with a +1 guest. Children under 12 are free. General admission gets you food, drinks, and entertainment. With your ticket price, you got to bring your own tent and gear. General admission with a rental tent and gear, food, drinks, entertainment, and select rental gear. 1 tent, 1 airbed, 1 chair. General admission +1 guest with rental tent and gear. 1 tent, 1 queen airbed, 2 chairs. General admission +1 guest and rental tent and double gear. 1 tent, 2 twin airbeds, 2 chairs. For best prices, shop our Amazon store. Food, tent, all that good old stuff. I ain't reading all that. You know, your essentials if you're flying. The land address will be given once you purchase your ticket. You say must drive to the land or fly to Myrtle Beach and then drive to the land by check-in time of 12 Eastern, Friday, July 19th. Hold on, let me tell you, they got a waiver and all that stuff. Hey, I don't know what the hell y'all got going on, but I don't recall asking or instructing any of you to have any type of conversations about any matter. Because clearly I have not completed what I'm doing. Okay, let's say the general admission with two people, with two twin mattresses is $450. The general admission with one queen mattress is $425. The general admission with tent and twin mattress and chair is $400. $300 would bring your own tent, and $250 would bring my own tent and gear. So then they got shop pay if you want to pay for it in installments. So that's what they got going on. So there's that. I'll try to put the link in there, man. And maybe I can hit my homeboy up, man, to do the same thing we did on the StreamYard simulcast on the channel, so we can talk about it on this side. So y'all, at least we can have it on the channel, so you can hear more about that. You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, I'm not camping out in the summer. I ain't built for it. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, you can laugh, nigga. I'm dead serious. You know what I'm talking about? Not to sleep in. Let me tell you something real, bro.
He told me you like the heat, bro.
Let me tell you something. That's amazing. That's wild. Well, let me tell you something, man. Boy, I was in the Florida Department of Corrections, boy. Being in there was like sleeping outside. Ain't no ACs in no prison, man. Hey. They say, hey, now. Come here, little white. Oh. What's up, man? Nah, ain't no ACs in no prisons in Florida, boy. Not unless you in the dorm, bro. If you, in a cell block, bro. Down here, boy, you in military style dormitories, barracks. Yeah, you sleeping, man. I'm good, bro. I did that for 4 years. I'm good on that. 72 open bunks, nothing but ceiling fans. Yeah, I'm good on that. Hey, I appreciate y'all, man. I bless y'all at the house. All of him in the name of Yahusha. I love y'all. Yahuwah willing, man. We'll be back at it on Wednesday. Make it do what it do. Oh yeah, I'm extra good on that, bro. That's all that's in there, bro.